What up guys, in this video today I'm going to show you how to very quickly paint your US winter soldiers for games of Bolt Action. This is done using almost exclusively Army Painter speed paints. They're a really great effective tool at getting your models painted in no time, and at this scale with these textures and the kind of caliber that we need, compromising between time and finish, the speed paints are the best way to do it. I think I painted all 40 infantry in something like a day and a bit, so absolutely wicked for what we need to do. Our test subject today is Commander Johnny, who's going to be one of my platoon commanders, handsome devil. As you can see here, we've used predominantly speed paints. We've got a nice wintry base. All in all, this guy took me about 10 minutes to paint, and you'll see that across this video, it's done almost in real time. Again, speed paints are a compromise between quality and finish. We want to get them painted quickly and in number. So as you can see, once he's mixed with his squad and they're all on the table, it's an absolutely brilliant finish for the time and effort we put in. This means you can get your armies on the table fully painted in no time whatsoever. Up first, here he is. We've got Commander Johnny. So I've done a prime of matte black from Colourforge all over, and then a zenithal of matte white. If I tilt him upside down, you can see we've got a lot of those shadows under his skin, under his pouches, and these are going to help us get the gradients in our colours. Satchel brown for the coat. I'm going to apply this all over his coat, trying to avoid the pouches, his gloves, his helmet, his boots, all the good bits. This is about 80% of the colour for the model, so it's worth taking your time here, being patient and getting all these details done in the brown. You can swap this out with any brown. I know there's ruddy fur, there's burnished red, several browns and reds from the Army Painter range would be great for this. If you want to use Citadel, something like Wildwood contrast or Cygor brown contrast would be a fantastic swap out for this. The great thing about this is that because this is such a strong dark colour and it takes up most of the model, from here we can be pretty messy with our lighter colours and our other speed paints because they won't cover over this dark brown. So it's a really fun way to experiment with your neutral colours for speed paints and contrasts and to see how they can implement your hobby. I use them in almost every project. I think they're great and fantastic. And again, when you've got to paint 100 dudes over a few days, get them done, get them down. By the time they're based and on the table, they look mega. So here we can see that's on there, it's wet. So while that's drying, we're going to move on to somewhere not touching that brown to start painting. Grim black is what we're going to use on the boots because there's a nice little break between the coat and the trousers, which means the boots can be painted without stress of colours bleeding. This is one of the important ways I tuition. I tell people, what could you be painting now? So while something is drying, what can we be painting while that's drying? Instead of just putting the model down for half an hour to dry, we then go on our phones, we open our group chats, we get lost in doom scrolling. So it's all about being positively productive. So while that coat's drying, we're going to paint the boots because that doesn't touch the coat. So it means I can stay productive. And once you're doing this across 10, 15, 20, 30 guys, all those colours dry in no time. Hardened leather we're going to use on the wood details on the gun. You can just pretty much apply this all over the weapon because we're going to paint the metallics later. This is a good colour for it. You can use snakebite leather from Citadel, Gore-grunter fur from Citadel, ruddy fur from Army Painter. Any kind of nice warm woody colour will be absolutely great for this. It's quite universal. I think in terms of any speed paint or contrast, any neutrals are worth having in your arsenal. Any browns, tans, black, greys, I think they're just super useful for those little jobs like this. Up next is mummified grime. We're going to do this on the green details, so his pouches, his helmet, and all the bits that we want to be that nice kind of olivey drab green. Helmet, pouches, gloves, and yeah, you can kind of spitball this. There's heaps of references out there for US military during World War II. I used a lot of the box art from Warlord for this project. And that's where I drew a lot of my inspiration from. I also watched Saving Private Ryan the other night and felt redeemed when I saw a lot of the details I painted on these guys did semi-match what was on screen, so go me. And then again, because this colour's a lot lighter than that brown, it's going to flow into the recesses and the details and the crevices between that and the brown and not make much of a difference because of how strong that brown paint is. So you can afford to not be as neat as you want to here. As long as you've kept the white bits white when you were doing the brown, this goes on like a dream. Afraid if you get any of this onto details that are going to be metallic later, because we're going to paint over those with acrylics, it's not going to make an enormous difference. So I'm just kind of slapping it on the handle of the knife, the tabs for where the canteen is. Again, try not to get it on the face, but otherwise you don't have to worry too much about this. On all those lovely pouches on the front of his coat. Bish, bash, ruddy, bosh. Up next, we're going to do some brownish decay. I use this for my Soviet, so if you've not seen that video, go and check that out. And this is just for the strap on the gun, but again, any neutral color for any strap, boot, kind of pouch across any project, whether it's Bolt Action, Warhammer, Historicals, these neutral colors are just good to have to slap onto a bit of ancillary stuff like that. It's just easy. Crusader skin, we're going to use on the skin, funnily enough. Now, this guy's face is quite obscured by his binoculars, so we're just going to whack that on there. You can go back in later and pick this out with some acrylics if you want to, just on like his nose and his chin. But again, it's a compromise between execution and time and quality. So we want to get it completed. We're not worried about perfection. One of the very few non-speed paints on this project is this AK paint US Army Olive. Lovely color, lovely matte finish. I do want to get some more of these AK paints. I am a big fan. And we're just going to apply this to the helmet, trying to avoid the recesses of the helmet's lip and where the straps sit on the front and the back of the helmet. Now, I'm doing this for two reasons. First off, it's just a bloody lovely color. Second, the matte finish of this paint means we'll get a differentiation between this green and the green on the pouches. Those will look different to the helmet because those are fabric, the helmet's metal, so it just gives us that slight break-in texture and differentiates them. Really easy way to do it and looks great. So here we are, we're pretty much 90% of the way there now, so we're going to go on some metallic acrylics. Warpaint Fanatics Gunmetal has become one of my favourite paints. Their whole metallic range is really, really good. The reason we're not using the speed paint equivalents for this is because I find they're very, very easy to lose control of, and it would be a big shame to have all that spill over onto our textures that we don't want to be metallic. So for me personally, I'd prefer to do this step with acrylic metallics. You can use dark silver from Pro Acryl or lead belcher from Citadel, whatever your personal preference is. And we're just going to do this on the details on the gun that need it, his canteen, his binoculars, anywhere that you think should be metallic. So the Army Painted Metallics I've become a huge fan of. I think they've got the perfect balance between soluble acrylic mediums. They flow really, really nicely with just the littlest bit of water. But then the finish is really nice. It's good and sparkly. You can tone it down if you need to. But for really nice eye-catching metallics, I've really, really started to fancy these. I use their True Brass on almost every project. I do a lot of World Eaters and bits like that and lots of corn for Warhammer. So I use their True Brass a lot. Take them for a spin. I have got some of the AK 3rd Gen Golds that I'm going to take for a spin. But overall, it's entirely up to you. If you prefer Citadel over any other brand because it's cheaper or accessible, use those. If you've got any thoughts on alternatives, or maybe you want to know what a Citadel alternative is, drop a comment. If I can help, I absolutely will. Now we're going to shade these metallics with some Gravelord Grey. I'm going to thin it down with the tiniest bit of water, but otherwise just apply this all over the metallic bits. I prefer this to non-oil because I find the new non-oil is very, very glossy, and I don't want that. I want this to kind of mute our metallics a bit and make them look a little bit more worn in and used. So again, you don't need heaps of it. You don't want to basically drown it in it because it is very strong and very dark. So I'm going to put some in the lip of that recess on his helmet, around the straps on there too. And once more, this is a fantastic colour to have for any random strap or bootlace or kind of tab that you think just needs a colour on there. Just whack a bit of Gravelord Grey on it and you are done. And once you've done this and that's dry, Commander Johnny's bloody done, isn't he? This scheme is so easy to execute. It's effective, it's really, really good, and very, very fitting with the artwork that's on the Warlord boxes. But wherever you draw your inspiration from, port it over. Again, if you need any help with what paints to use, drop a comment, and if I can help, I will. I'm going to give him a light dusting and matte varnish from my Winsor & Newton rattle can when he's done, and then do his base, which I'll do another video on. 10 Hut Commander Johnny, done and dusted. Thanks to this scheme, I painted 30-40 dudes over a couple of days. Even if you've just got a few hours in the evening to paint, this scheme means you can get your whole guys done in a couple of weeks. If you've got any questions or comments, please leave them and I'll get back to you ASAP. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow me on the socials, subscribe to the Patreon. Have a wicked day. Peace!